yelling at? Puppies. Lay down. Get low. Good girl. No, don't steal those. It's already a riot. It's already a disaster. Well, welcome to episode 8. I'm Gabby, and we are joined today by our two co-hosts, Iron and Audrey. Audrey's the redhead, Iron's a tricolor that's probably going to run into the tripod in about 45 seconds. And we are a crafty puppy podcast. You can find us everywhere online as Gabagales, Instagram, Twitter, Ravelry, most important places, really. No, stop trying to steal that. My show notes are on my laptop over here, so if I keep looking this way, that's why. And it is about 7:30 on Monday, February 21st? 22nd. February 22nd. So my brain's a wee bit fried. I do have a giant mug of coffee here, so hopefully that will help. And I guess let's get started. It's also got ice cream in it, so if I'm like chewing, it's because I got a chunk of ice cream. I just want to give a really big thank you to all returning viewers and a big hello and welcome to all new viewers. Thank you for checking us out. If you've been recommended by somebody, please let me know who. That way I can thank them, or if I already know who they are, thank them again. I don't know. That didn't make sense. This is going to be a lot of that. I also apologize for what my glasses are doing. This seems to be constant with them. So yeah, with that, I guess we'll start off with some group news. Try and get this ready. We are also joined today by our random number generator, so if she starts talking randomly, don't be weirded out. I was super excited when I found out that she could do this, so I kind of wanted to do a giveaway just to use her. So, group news, we have a giveaway announcement. I did a giant thank you giveaway, and I forgot the scanning yarn, so I'm going to grab that real quick. Okay, this is making more sense in my head the more I talk. The prizes are the Across the Pond shawl by Mina Phillips, who graciously donated it from the Knitting Expat podcast, and a skein of snow-dyed yarn of my own experimenting. So this is Blizzard 2016 skein, and it's on my Audrey base, which is a 80/20 BFL nylon. And there were a lot of really good suggestions and inquiries. The prompt was, what else do you want to see on the podcast? I'm not sure what everyone's interested in, and main consensus, more puppies. You hear that? We need more of you. While Iron is hiding under the bed because I think there's a tennis ball stuck. So there were 37 posters, precious. 37 posts, not including mine. So, Alexa, pick a number between 2 and 38. Alexa, pick a number between 2 and 38.
Your random number between 2 and 38 is 19.
Alright, 19. Who is post number 19? Ooh, okay. Post number 19 is Starling Bird, who is Steph from Boston. Yay, Steph from Boston! So her thing was, I would love to see more of how you go about planning out your colors for yarn dyeing, that, and of course more corgi time. So I will answer your question now, since you did win these. So send me a message on Ravelry and with your address, and I will get this shipped out to you, and I will put you in contact with Mina for the pattern. And how I go about planning my yarn colors, a lot of my inspiration comes from books and movies and names. I plan out the names of my colors before I actually dye them. So, like, lots of so's and ums in one sentence, Gabby. The Dark Like My Soul colorway, I knew I wanted to have a yarn named that, so I just sort of figured out what colors would go with that. Or I do have a plan for a yarn called All Caked Up and Ready to Go. Or, no, All Caked Up and Nowhere to Go. So, that will be my next dye batch, hopefully. But mostly books and movies and stuff, and sort of, their color schemes. So I'm on Do Not Disturb and I'm still getting texts. Sorry. Ooh. So yeah, that's really where my inspirations come from now. Or, yeah, that's really it. I just want to name things really cool, so that didn't answer your question, did it? I'll try again later. So yeah, get in touch with me, Starling Bird, and I will get this shipped out to you. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, a lot of people asked about dyeing stuff, and everybody wants to see more of the puppies. I think for one episode, I'll do a big inspiration dyeing segment. I don't want to do any tutorial stuff because I am still very new to it, but I will put links to, oh, what are you doing? Nicole from the Hugh Loco podcast and Laura from the Jinx Yarn podcast and Jinx Yarn. They both have really good dyeing tutorials on their YouTube channels and podcasts and websites and such, so I will put links to all of those in the show notes. So if you do want tutorial kind of things, you can go check theirs out, and then I have a couple colorways in mind, so I think I might do a recording of that and just sort of... Whoa. Something like that. A lot of people want to see more sewing, so I'm hoping I can get some more sewing done because I do want to do more. I have a couple everyday dress plans in the works. I have a couple SCA things in the works, and that was one of the requests, was more SCA stuff. More spinning, which I hopefully will get to. And yeah, just more puppies in general. So I think I might also do a history of the Puppel-Ups for one episode, just sort of how Audrey came to be mine, and then how Puppel-Ups came to be the Puppel-Ups. So, yay! Giveaways! That was exciting. More group news. We have our first Cal starting March 1st, and it is being co-hosted with Carlene from the Made with Carlenergy podcast and Denise from the Yarn Geek podcast. We have all shown interest in the Luca shawl by Jared Flood. Your legs are so stubby. Sorry, I keep talking away from the camera. But Luca shawl by Jared Flood, and it is a giant lace circular shawl. I'll try to put a picture in somewhere around here so you can see it. I'm super excited about it. I already have my yarn caked up, and it is Jagger spun. It's a main yarn. It's 50% wool, 50% silk, and there's the tag. And I got it on the Yarn Crawl 2015 with Adrian and our mother. And I'm super excited to knit it up. It's this beautiful, almost pinkish red. My lights are really awful, and my phone is casting a shadow. I think that's the closest up here to the true color. It's a lace weight, and the pattern calls for 1,115, and I have 1,120 yards, so hopefully we won't be cutting it close. And I did a gauge swatch, so according to my gauge, I'm still about 1/2 to 1/2 a stitch off with US size 4, so I'm using my new US size 4 Carbons by Knitter's Pride interchangeables. Did you lose the ball? I was gonna try and do this all in one shot, but this tennis ball is the only thing keeping them partially sane, so hold on. Where's the ball? Okay, we're partially back. Yes, so I did a gauge swatch, and I'm going to use my US size 4 Carbons interchangeables from Knitter's Pride. I'm still about, the gauge calls for 22 stitches per 4 inches, so it's about 5.5 inches, or 5.5 stitches an inch, and I get blocked 6 stitches per inch on these things, so I think that's as close as I'm going to get without going up anymore, because I feel like that's a little ridiculous. So I'm ready and waiting. I'm going to open up the thread for the knit along, so then you can chatter away, and I'll either include finished objects and everything into one thread and then draw from there for prizes. I figure we'll do like a skein of yarn and a project bag or something like that for prizes. I don't want this to be too crazy of a knit along. It is our first one, and it seems to be busy knitting season for ourselves, but I think it'll be fun. So if you're a maker of any sort and you want to donate any prizes, get in touch with me. So yeah, I think that's it for group news, and I guess with that, let's get on to the rest of the knitting. We only have one finished object today, and I'm super excited that I waited to record because otherwise this wouldn't be finished. And that is the French can-can shawl. Oops, it's backwards. It's not blocked yet, and I didn't pull up who makes this. So in the show notes, which I didn't tell you where they are, they're at onceuponacorgi.wordpress.com. Links will be in the doobly-doo. It is on the Studio Dongle worsted weight yarn in a light pink, almost lavendery colorway, and I am in love with it. It's massive and mushy, and it's already so warm. So I'm hoping I think it'll block out quite wide for my liking, which is good because I like a nice deep shawl. So I'm just so excited that it's finished, and it looks so good. Oh, I cannot wait to make this again. I think I want to try and make it on a fingering weight so it's super drapey. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good thing. And I did have to play some major yarn chicken and almost lost. I had to bind off, there's this weird little tab thing. I was about 8 rows away, and I had maybe twice as much yarn as this left, so I just bounded off with that. So this is the last of this yarn. I have used every scrap of the 2 skeins I got. But I'm in love with it, and I'm going to block it tonight, I think, because I can't wait to wear it. So we'll get a close-up of the braid for you. It was so easy too. I highly recommend this for a beginning cable pattern. And it was with the applied border, which I'm sort of in love with at the moment, so it's perfect. I love it. I can't wait to wear it. So we're just gonna daintily put this on a pile of stuff. And that's it for finished objects. So works in, oh, I have to put this over here, I need that later. Works in progress. So last time I talked to you, I had this stupid gauge swatch of a sock. I'm mad at these socks. I don't want to be mad at these socks because I don't want to knit hate into them. I know that sounds weird, but everyone always talks about knitting love into each stitch. And these ones I'm just like knitting spite. So, the failed Hulk sock, take 3, I think. Yeah, this was take 3. But I powerhoused through them, and I'm tangled in acrylic yarn. And here we are on Hulk socks take 4. I'm sort of knitting them 2 at a time. I knit the cuffs, which are just a 1x1 rib, and these are in, both colors are Malabrigo. I don't have the tags with me, so I forgot the name, but I know I have them in my Ravelry stash. But the body is a green, and then the heels, toes, and cuffs are gonna be a purple because they're Hulk socks. So I did the cuffs 2 at a time. I got about 1.5 inches into the leg at 2 at a time, got frustrated, took them apart, and knit them on the super teeny tiny 9-inch circular needle, which just zoomed them through. And then I did the heels 2 at a time, and now I did a double gusset on the bottom of the foot, which I've been hearing a lot of stuff about and a lot of good things about. And so I gave that a shot. The cat moved. So this one I messed up on because I was decreasing on the wrong side of the stitch markers, but I think it turned out okay still. So I have one sock decreased and ready for the foot, and I'm literally knitting them from the fail socks. So, fun trick, if you knit out of fail socks, you can just wear them around your wrist and pull from there. And that's how I've been knitting these on the train station and gotten a lot of really weird looks. I'm sorry for how crazy I seem in this episode. I shouldn't record after work. So I'm on the gusset part of the second one. So it's a free pattern. It's fantastic, and she has a really good stitch guide. So if you do a gauge swatch for your socks, she has a little chart. Like if you I knit 9 stitches to the inch on US size 1 needles, and then she has a little chart like if you have, this is your gauge, these are your needles, these are how many stitches you should have on a X size foot, which I just want to print out and frame. There's Audrey. So yeah, I'm on the gusset of the second sock, and then after I finish the decreases, I will connect them again and knit them 2 at a time until the toes, and then hopefully finally be done with these. My goal is by my birthday. I wanted them done for Jake when he got home from his business trip, but that's Monday, and I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't know, probably not. His feet are like 500 feet long, so, or a size 13, you're whatever's closer. So that's work in progress. Number 1 and 2. Our other oh, it's this bag. I'm sort of strewn everywhere. It's Monday. Our next work in progress is also socks, but these are for me, so they're much tinier. And they are the I Love You More Than Pumpkin Spice socks by Java Pearl, or CC from Geeky Girls Knit Podcast. And I'm knitting these 2 at a time on size US 1.5 Knitter's Pride Nova Cubics. So they're the squarey. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe that way. They're square. And they're fantastic, and I love them. And I can't wait to knit regular socks on them. So I have my toes, and I'm about to put the heel in on these guys. And they have this beautiful pumpkin cable. Oh, it's pretty. It reads very tricky, but once you sit down and do the stitches while you're reading them, it's really not that hard. I think the pattern's labeled as a advanced to intermediate knitter pattern. It is a paid for pattern. But yeah, I think if you just sit down and go slow, you could figure it out. And she does have a caffeine-inspired book coming out in March, I believe. So keep an eye out for that if you're really into coffee-themed socks and stuff. And she has a lot of fandom things. She's got Outlander socks. She's got a lot of Doctor Who socks. Yeah, they're fantastic. You should check them out anyway. So there they are. I can't wait to finish them. These will be my first pair of socks for my Boxo Socks Cal that Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast is hosting. And I feel very weird because everybody else has like 4 pairs of socks in their boxes and I'm still on the foot of my first. But they're cable. I might start my March pair before I finish these just so I have something to zoom through because I feel like I haven't finished anything in a while. And that leads to our newest and final work in progress. And I allowed myself to start this after I cast off my Can shawl, and that is the Little Brown Cardigan. Looks great, right? Right. It's an O-wool pattern, and as you can tell, I have about 2 rows done of the ribbing. So, that's really not much to show you, but here's, knitting this out of the O-wool Legacy DK in their Lake Erie colorway, and it's so soft, and it's a little bit lanolin-y, or I just have lotion all over it, but I'm so excited for this to be a cardigan. It's a paid-for pattern. Okay, we're gonna film this in segments because my phone is full of stuff. So I've cast on the Little Brown Cardigan by O-wool. Oh, my screen's doing a weird thing. Alright, that'll help. And that is in their Legacy DK weight with dog hairs everywhere in their Lake Erie colorway. And I'm super excited to get that started because I have only knit giant man sweaters and I want my own cardigan. So hopefully this will be the start of a very productive handmade wardrobe. And yeah, that's it for works in progress. I feel sort of like I'm stuck in a rut of not finishing, even though I did just finish a shawl. So expect a lot of new projects next time because I have been itching / dying to cast on at least 100 million pairs of socks. I've already got my March socks yarn picked out, and I've got socks for a friend I want to make, and I've got socks for Outlander I want to make, so a lot of socks in my future. And since that knitting is done, on to spinning, and I am so glad this is done. And this is 4 ounces of 100% Shetland wool that I spun on my Bluebonnet Honey and Ply wheel. And there she is. It's a 2-ply, and it's pretty loosely plied, I think. It's it's fluffy. Yeah, I was afraid of over-plying it because it was such a rustic yarn. I didn't want to turn it into super ropey, but it fluffed up amazingly. And I'm so excited to knit with it. I have 3 1-ounce balls of colored Shetland wool that I'm gonna spin up and do a colorwork cowl for my friend who has Shelties. So that's the plan for this. It was a good practice to spin thin. I wouldn't say it's consistently a fingering weight, but in some spots it is. It's probably like a heavyweight fingering weight. Yeah, you can see how the plies are pretty loose. But it has given me hope that I will probably never buy a fleece because I wasn't bored with spinning it. I was just bored at looking at this much gray for how long I spun it. So unless I get like a tie-dyed sheep, I don't think I'm gonna get a fleece, which is great news for Jake. probably better news for my wallet, and the best news for my bathtub. But I did it. I'm excited to start my next braid for my unofficial Spin the Bin of 2016. I'm gonna try fractal spinning because I've never done that before, and I'm super excited. I do have a hair attacking my face. I really want to break into my narwhal needlework braid, which is sitting on my sewing machine right now, just behind the camera. But I'm gonna wait until I get better at spinning. I also really want to spin my loop bump, but I want to practice chain plying before I do that. The ladies downstairs are moving, so the dogs are getting riled up. But I have Sarah's Textured Crafts. I did her second fiber club, and it was French Impressionist inspired fibers, so I think I'm gonna break into one of those and spin up one of those next for March. So this was my March Spin the Bin. My Superwash Merino was the January Spin the Bin. I don't know how I'm gonna keep track of these. Maybe I'll set up a project page, but I did it. I spun a whole braid, and it didn't look like butts. It's so fluffy. It just looks like a giant cloud. It was also so gross after I washed it. Sheep were dirty. And, yeah. We'll see how she knits up. No, don't break it, don't break it. I don't have any sewing this week. I've just been finishing up project bags and a couple custom orders. I do have plans for sewing. I got a bunch of muslin, and I'm going to take apart my first Make Sew for 20 project and try and write out a pattern for that. It was a Tudor inspired everyday dress, 3/4 sleeves, square top, invisible zipper at the back, circle skirt with pockets. It's not the best made dress, so I'm just gonna take it apart now before it falls apart. And I'm gonna try and write up a pattern for it, because a couple people have asked me what I did for a pattern, and the answer was I just Franken patterned things together. So we're gonna see how that goes. But I want to make a black version of it and then a pattern version of it, and get a couple staple things for a handmade wardrobe, capsule wardrobe almost. And I want to get more of, where is it? No, here it is. I'm sorry for the crinkling. I've got a bunch of this, or the skeleton print ordered, and I want to make, I think I'm going to use the Anna dress pattern and make a dress out of this pattern. And I'm super excited because it is, I think it's subtle enough that if I wear it in public, people are going to double take a little bit. So that's the pattern. It's just skeletons and roses. So yeah, that's sewing. I have one SCA dress I have to finish soon. Coronation is in April, and it's going to be my first recreation piece, so I want to get it done for Coronation. I'll try and put a picture. It's a painting. It's a Dutch painting. I'm not going to try and say his name because I'm going to butcher it, but it's a kitchen maid in a green dress, so I'll try and put a picture of that here. I've got the bodice hand sewn, and I'm just going to say no to hand sewing a skirt for somebody my size, because that's still a lot of fabric. So I'm going to machine sew the skirt on, and then machine sew a new smock, an apron, and partlet, and coif, which is the little hat that she's wearing. So that's it for sewing plans. Hopefully I will have more to show you next time, because I have to put my butt into gear on that green dress. And that would move us on to stash building, which I'm not supposed to have anything of, but I do. I'm supposed to be on a yarn diet, and I failed, so Candace, don't feel bad at all. At all. I know I'm supposed to be good, and I've failed so bad, but, I mean, can you blame me? My first failure was about 12 hours after I told myself I was going to go on a yarn diet. Two of my friends went to an SCA event in New Hampshire called Burka, and they sent me a picture of this yarn with the price tag, and I just said, grab me what's left. So they did. So I got 2 skeins of, it's Miriam's Yarns and Fibers, and it's 95% cashmere, 5% mink. How could you say no? So I got 2 skeins. They're only 50 grams, but they have about 400 yards because they are the lace weight. And they're just so soft. I mean, these little nuggets are just like, there's nuggets of soft. How could one say no? And for only like $7 each. Like, come on. Come on. So, I did it. I broke the yarn diet immediately. I already have a plan for these guys. Kristen is releasing a pattern in March, I think, or end of February. I'm gonna put the name down here somewhere because I've tried saying it and it comes out French every time. And I also think I'm making the name up as I say it. So I'll just put the name down here. But it's a lacy pattern. So hers is in fingering weight, but I think if I do math well enough, I can change it into lace weight and then I can do beading on it too. I'm just so excited. They're so soft. I also got Kristen's Yarn Club. Carlene made me do it. I was talking to her as soon as it came out, and she was like, I got it, you should get it. Get it too. And I was like, but, okay, I bought it. So, I broke it too, Candace, don't worry. You're not the only one. So, stash building also happened with swaps, which was super exciting, so I'm gonna go grab those. Swaps. Melissa from the Spicy Homemaker podcast was super awesome and put together a Valentine's Day swap for all the podcasters, which I think was a fantastic idea. Excuse me, coffee burps. So let's just drink more coffee. Yeah, it was great. She made a list of all the podcasters, sent a message out to everybody, and then somehow found the time to match us all up with people that she thought we would go good with or wasn't sure if we were in contact with, so then it was sort of like an introduction to people, and I just cannot thank you enough for such a good idea, Melissa. That was fantastic. Kudos. You put a lot of work into that. It makes my brain hurt just thinking about how much you had to do for that. So, she paired me up with Melinda from the Yarnder Woman podcast. Hi, Melinda. Who I started watching about 6 months ago, I want to say. Adrian told me about her when I was first like, what do I want to listen to for podcasts? And he was like, Yarngasm, Yarnder Woman. I think there was somebody else. There was at least one more that he told me about, and then I just sort of went on iTunes and YouTube and went knitting, and the world exploded. So I've known about Melinda for a while, and I was super excited to learn that we got paired up together, and I know as of today she just got my package, and I'm so glad that everything survived, because I did send chocolates, and it is summer in Australia, so I kept them in the freezer for like 4 days, and then wrapped them in all of the bags, and then mailed them and put like a giant caps note into everything. Like, there is chocolate! Please send immediately! So, I'm glad that everything survived. So I got hers, and she sent me this beautiful Julie Sylvester card. And she said she thought it looked pretty impressionist. So, I think it's beautiful. And I can't wait to find a wall to put it on. And very lovely notes inside with explanations for all of her little things that she packed in, which I thought was really good. Which were, she sent me a package of Tim Tams, which if you've never had them, find somebody who can get them and have them do a swap. They're amazing. They're in the fridge, hidden right now because I ate half the package the day I opened it. And I told myself I would save some for Jake, so I'm hiding them. And she sent me a bag of Rwanda coffee, which is fantastic. That's in the kitchen up where the animals can't get to it because I was afraid somebody would just nibble a little hole in that bag. So that's off in protected land in the kitchen. So she also sent me cranberry and pomegranate tea. And there's going to be rustling, and I'm sorry, and crinkling, for my princess mug, which I thought was super sweet. I've already drank like 3 of these. They're so good. And that's by Twinings? Beautiful. And a bag of minis. And there's some the Nitpicks Felici in there, and I missed that whole update thing, fad, swing, whatever you call it. So I'm super excited to put these in my blanket. And she sent me a little card and a button. Oh, and I thought this was the coolest thing. Such a good idea. Such a good idea. She's got Yarnder Woman paper. Like, how cool is that? Oh, corgi paper. That's so smart. That's so fun. I might just have to oh, I mean, I'm going to keep these forever anyway because they're going to go in my notebook, but how cool is that? And she also sent me a skein of No Makers Bumblebee yarn, and she wrote in her little note that she couldn't find me any mustard yellow, so she thought this would do nicely, and I think it's perfect because it's Hufflepuff colors, and I am a Hufflepuff through and through. You can't tell, but over there, I made a little library in the darkest corner of the apartment, and I have my Hufflepuff flag over it, and I have a little Hufflepuff sweater that goes on the Christmas tree, and I have a Hufflepuff necklace that I wear sometimes when I'm not working. So this is beautiful. Thank you so much. This was such a good swap. I'm so glad we were partnered up. I can't wait. I want to make socks out of these because I want to make socks out of everything, but I also really want to make like a nice cowl or little shawlette out of this. Iron's trying to scratch his head and lick his toes at the same time. There's your more puppies. Nope, you're done? Okay. So yes, thank you so much. And I'm glad I got some No Makers. I've been creeping on her because that's where I got a bunch of fiber to try test dyeing. And then I always see her mini updates and I just want them. But I'm still on a yarn diet. So yeah, thank you. I can't wait to knit with this. And then I also did a swap with Candace from the Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast because we decided since we're both going to try and do yarn diets, we might as well do a swap so then we sort of like ease into not buying yarn. So even though we have both failed it. And I got hers the same day and it was like Nitty Christmas. She sent me a card with the cutest stickers in the world. How cute is that thing? I just want 100 of them. And a little card. Oh, hello, card. And she sent me... Did she? Yeah. Some lip balm. And thinking this is... Is this local? Rocky Mountain Soap? No. You don't rock. No, that's us. And she sent some adorable stickers. I've already used up almost a full sheet because I need the world to see these little ice creams and cupcakes and milkshakes. Ooh. I'm running out of space. I don't want to put anywhere too obvious for the dogs. And she sent me 2 skeins of Kyogu? Hyogu Wool Designs, and it's 100% superwash merino, 50 grams each, so these might make a really nice pair of little socks, or maybe put them together in something. And this is Smooshy sock yarn. And this is beautiful. It's showing up very purple, and I think that's just my overheads. But purples and blues, and I think a little bit of greens mixed in there. So maybe I'll do something together. Although I think these would make really nice socks with contrasting like brown. I'm really into green with brown right now in my brain, so maybe some like chocolatey heels and toes. I've also got socks on the brain, so we'll see. These are just wonderful and soft and smooshy. So thank you. I love them. They're beautiful. Maybe I will do a shawl with like a... No. Oh, I could do like a cowl with little lace inserts of these colors. Oh, that'd be pretty. I might do that. And she also sent me a plethora of minis. I haven't read through the names yet, but I have a fleeting suspicion this is the gingerbread from Jinx Yarn, and I've never knit with Jinx Yarn, but I really want to, so now I can. I'm just so excited. I think there's a hedgehog fiber in here too. It would help if I opened these up and looked at them, but I didn't want to lose anything before the podcast. So these are all going to be added into the queue to go into my minis. Or Cozy Memories blanket. And I'm running out of space. Yep, we're still timing. And then she also sent this notebook with a G and Pocky, which I have not had in forever. I used to live off of this stuff. I was watching Melissa's, not her latest episode, the one before that, and she discovered Pocky, and I hurt in my heart a little bit for it. This was my life source during my major convention days for about three or 4 years. I didn't go to a lot of them, but when I went hard. To mostly Kineticon because it was the closest one, and I was poor, high school, college kid. So this was my lifeblood while I was there, and they're so good. And now that I've shown you, I can't wait to eat the whole box in one sitting. Oh, I'm throwing minis. Oops. And then she sent me some David's tea, and I sent her some, and I just felt so weird. I'm like, you probably have a million of these, but here's more. She sent me David's top 12, and I am super excited to break into these. They have one called, where is it? The Spice is Right. Tea puns! And a birthday cake. And I think she just sprinkled lavender into the box, and it smells beautiful, and I just get a shower of lavender flowers. And then she also sent some filters, which was very nice, because now I can take it to work and have delicious tea while I sit and brood in my dark corner. So thank you, Candace. This was wonderful, and I hope we can do this again, because it was such a good idea. So next time we tell ourselves we're not going to buy anything, Instagram me. I love it. I love swaps. I am been super into making packages lately, so this was right up my alley. I'm trying to organize everything so the cat doesn't steal anything, because he's sitting next to me eyeballing all the yarn. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Okay. Last but not least, shop updates. So I'm going to rearrange a little bit and then go into that. Okay, shop updates. There's not going to be an active one this week. March, I'm planning my next one. I think I'm just going to do 1 or 2 a month for now until I kind of figure out a schedule. life's a little bit crazy, where I am in mindset, general words. So I'm trying to figure out what's gonna work best for me without stressing me out too hard, because I don't want this to be a stressful thing. I want to enjoy it. So, Audrey, please don't chase the cat on the tripod. So I had my big kit update, and I just want to say I'm sorry for animals, and thank you to everybody who's gotten a kit so far, and they're all out in the mail, and I can't wait until you get them. I'm not going to show you everything. You've probably had Secret Garden and Gilded Teacup shoved in your face enough, so you know what they look like. There's enough to go around. So I'm just going to show the custom colorways that I have left. And that is a Spot of Tea, and that comes with this bag, and this is the Superwash Merino Cashmere Nylon / Penny base, and there's also one on the Audrey base left. So that's just these speckles of pinks and reds and blues and greens and a little bit of black. I tried to mimic the colors in here. I didn't have this gold color, but whatever. So I tried to, the goal was just mimicking the colors, and I love the way it turned out. I might dye myself up some next time I get some. There's a dog hair in this one, I'm sorry. Next time I put some yarn in. So yeah, so you get the bag, the yarn, Progress Keeper, and then a couple little trinkets in there, because who doesn't love making little trinkets to package up for people? So that's one. So both of these are still left in the shop. The next one is our I Like My Coffee. And it comes with the spoon bag, Progress Keeper, and this one is the Penny base, and it's just a tonal brown coffee, so it goes from your coffee served black to your coffee served light and sweet, and everything in between. So that's still up in the shop. And then this is the Flower Garden bag, and this is the MCN base. The buffalo base. I don't have a buffalo base. I wish I did. That'd be so soft. The BFL base came out a lot more deeper. This one came out a little bit more pastel-y, which I thought was super interesting to see how they dyed up differently. And this one I played with creating, if you tighten, if the yarn holding the skein together is super tight, the dye can't get underneath it to the skein part that's underneath it. So I was playing around with that to see if I could get little specks of white to mimic the polka dots, and it did exactly what I wanted it to. So I'm super excited that it worked out. And it's just light blue with bits of purple and maroon, and it's beautiful. I'm sorry for the crinkling. And then last but not least, the skeleton bag. And this is the MCN base. Let's actually show it. And that's just a light tan base with heavy, I don't know what you would call it. It's not speckling. I tried to speckle and then I went a little dye crazy, and it just came out beautiful. With tones of maroon and mauve. I went mauve nuts. And I'm not mad. I'm definitely going to dye up more of this and make a sweater out of it. So, that's that. Those are the only things. And, oh no, I have some Rolags and some Heart of Gold in the shop still. I am planning another dye day soon. I have a couple skeins left, and I want to try and recreate this, which I dyed up for a friend who helped me out in staying up there at her house in New Hampshire the past weekend. So I'm gonna make her some thank you socks, and this is called My Cold Dead Heart. So I'm gonna dye this up on a couple more skeins, I think on my ginger base, because I think the sparkles will go quite lovely. And that's just these dark reds and purples and maroons and a little bit of black over dyed and some speckled in there. And these are gonna make some very nice socks. There's a little bit of the black. It's showing up quite purple on my screen. So, I'll do an Instagram post when I get them up in the shop. And that's it for shop updates. Audrey is crying, so we're gonna wrap this up pretty quickly. I don't have any. No, wait, that's a lie. Let me pull up my show notes. Did that. I don't so much have. I have a couple podcast recommendations. Guys, downstairs. Come here. These are more. Let me pause. No, come here. These are more shop Instagram recommendations. There are a lot of podcast recommendations that I want to make. I couldn't choose between them. So, these are like Instagram shop recommendations, and I actually think all three of these people have podcasts. I know two of them do. The first one is Knitting I Love, and I didn't write down your name, and I'm really sorry. I found her through YouTube, and then I followed her Instagram, and through her Instagram I found out that she had these cool needle cases for circular needles, and I'll try and put a picture up here. And I was just, they're beautiful. And Mina from A Knitting Expat, we're gonna cut this part out. We are gonna wrap up pretty quickly. The dogs are getting feisty and probably have to go outside. So we are gonna wrap it up there. I don't have a lot to talk about for everyday life stuff. The past couple weeks have been crazy at work, looking for different work kind of thing. Lots of puppy play. We went up to my parents this past weekend for the whole weekend to get some pent up dog energy out, because it's just been me for the past week, so they don't get as much people time as I would like. Valentine's Day weekend I spent it in New Hampshire with my friends, which was fantastic, eating gross, meaty foods, per tradition, as we do. So yeah, I'm gonna try and record this on a real day next time. Life got crazy, and I felt really weird recording this at my parents' house. I thought I was gonna, and then I didn't want to, because I didn't want to record in the craft room on Adrian and ruin his craft tour. So keep an eye out for that from Freakish Lemon Podcast. He's gonna do a craft tour soon. The craft room was my old bedroom, so that would naturally be where I podcasted from, but I didn't want to ruin that. And then I just felt weird talking into my phone with my dad in the other room and the dogs running up and down the stairs. So YOLO, my podcast, my rules. So yes, I'm gonna put some podcast /store/Instagram recommendations in the show notes. They're standing at the door guarding it. So yes, check them out. They're fantastic and adorable, and if you just want really good Instagram photos, check them out. My face did a really weird thing there. I'm sorry. There they go. So yeah, thank you for checking us out. Head on over to onceuponacorgi.wordpress.com for the show notes. You can check out my yarn and bags at uponacorgi.etsy.com. We do have a Ravelry group. I didn't say this at the beginning, and I should have. Once Upon a Corgi podcast in the groups tab. Come on over. I have an Ask Me Anything thread. I have an introductions thread. I have episode threads. I don't want this to be a crazy, you have to pay attention to everything kind of group. That came out wrong. We have chit chat. We're not super chatty. This is also coming out wrong. Let's try that again. You can come over to our Ravelry group. We are Once Upon a Corgi podcast under the groups tab. There's an Ask Me Anything thread if you have any questions. There's an introduction thread if you want to say hi. And there will be the knit along thread opening by the time this is out. I just dunked my scarf in my coffee. So with that, I promise I'll never record on a Monday after work again. Thanks for watching!